In today's module, we're going to be looking at the different types of prompt injection. And in the previous video, we actually looked at exactly what is prompt injection, and we also compared this to SQL injection. In this specific video, we're going to be doing more of a deeper dive into the various different types of prompt injection. So, on the left-hand side here, we have our traditional text prompt that we use to interface with the large language models, right? So consider this as our API into the LLM. Now, on the right-hand side is the actual model itself, right? So in the text side of things, we use, for example, a Gen AI prompt, and this comes in the form of text, a chain of instructions, whether that is structured or unstructured. And the key thing to note here is that text can be endless to a certain extent. Now, in the middle, we actually have presented here the actual different types of prompt injection, right? So we got the prompt injection itself, we got prompt leaking, and we got something called jailbreaking. So let's dive deep and look at what each one does, right? So first of all, prompt injection, right, is an approach whereby we ignore the original text. So let's say you in the text window, you'll type something in to which you want the large language model to look at. But what we're going to also do is execute the injected text, right? So basically we trick the large language models into ignoring the original text that we submit to it and then execute some additional text that we add to it, right? And that's really kind of like the approach for prompt injection. Now, the goal in this specific scenario is to hijack the large language model, right? And to change the behavior of that model, right? So we want to influence, manipulate to produce a different kind of output. Okay, so that's pretty much straightforward. Now, prompt leaking is kind of like a different approach, right? So there are words in the text that we are going to use in order for the large language model to expose specific types of data, right? And in this specific scenario, we use the prompt leaking strategy for the large language model to expose confidential data or get intellectual property data, things like that. So when the large language model is processing the text, right, we craft the text in such a way that we're tricking it to do something else. Okay, so that kind of like differs in our strategy from prompt injection, where really we're hijacking the model and then the prompt leaking is to reveal the data, right? And you could actually say that prompt leaking is an extension of prompt injection. The final type of prompt injection is jailbreaking. And in this approach, what we're doing here is we're actually entering text that is unethical and illegal, right? And in this instance, by doing this, right, we actually get output that in turn is unethical, illegal, harmful, violent, etc. And that's the output we're getting. So we're putting something in there to basically solicit the similar type of output there. And if you look at it, all these different types of prompt injections kind of like builds on top of it. So we have a foundational prompt injection. We then extend that doing prompt leaking by exposing confidential data. And then we take it one stage further by jailbreaking it and having the model behave in a completely different way. And that concludes today's module. Thank you.